All right, so let's get right into it. If you're a Dragon Ball fan, you know the Future Trunks timeline is like one of the most tragic what ifs in the whole series. But what if we just flip that on its head? What if the one thing that kicked it all off, Goku's death, just never happened? We're about to jump into an alternate timeline where one tiny change completely rewrites everything we thought we knew about Dragon Ball Z.
But hey, before we really dig in, I want to throw a question at you. Think about this. Can losing a single battle actually help you win an entire war? I know, it sounds kind of backward, right? But you're about to see how the key to saving this future isn't about throwing a bigger punch, it's about one smart, calculated retreat.
Okay, so just look at the difference here. It's night and day, really. On one side, you've got the grim reality we all know, right? Goku dies, the Z fighters get wiped out, and the world is just pure terror for decades. But on the other side, a timeline where Goku gets that heart medicine just a little bit early. A whole new strategy gets cooked up, and the result? It's not just a little better, it's an age of like unprecedented peace. Time travel? Nobody even thinks about it because they just don't need to.
So, how does this all happen? Well, the breaking point is actually super simple. 2.5 years after Frieza's defeat, Goku gets that heart virus. But in this timeline, a cure is already waiting for him. He takes it, he survives, and that one little thing, it doesn't just save his life, it completely changes the course of history for the entire universe.
Fast forward 6 months, and bam, the androids show up. Just like we saw in that gut-wrenching Trunks special, androids 17 and 18 just start tearing the city apart. And Vegeta, who's finally gone Super Saiyan, charges in, just oozing confidence. But yeah, that hope lasts for about 2 seconds. He is completely, totally outmatched. The androids are just toying with him. And this right here is the moment everything changes. Goku's alive, he's on the battlefield, and he immediately sizes up the situation. He can just feel it. Even with everything he's got, they have zero chance. These androids are on a whole other level, something they've never, ever seen before. A head-on fight, that's just a suicide mission. And this is the thought that clicks in his head. He knows that if he jumps in there to fight, he's going to die. Plain and simple. And then everyone else dies with him. That tragic future he knows about, it'll just play out exactly the same. You know, that whole experience with the heart virus really taught him something important. You can't just punch your way out of every single problem. So what he does next is what really matters. And listen, this isn't about being a coward, this is pure strategy. First, he assesses the fight. It's unwinnable. Second, he prioritizes. Who is absolutely essential for the future? Well, that's Piccolo, because of the Dragon Balls, and Gohan for his insane potential. Third, he acts. He uses instant transmission, grabs them both, and zips out of there to Kami's lookout. And fourth, this is the tough one. He makes a sacrifice. He has to accept the loss of Vegeta, Tien, and the others to save the entire timeline. Okay, so now they're safe up on the lookout and their counterattack is about to begin. But this isn't just about let's get stronger and punch harder. No, this is a super coordinated plan that uses all their unique abilities and resources. And they have to pull the whole thing off in just 24 hours. They call it the one-day plan. And this just shows you how crazy efficient they are. I mean, the second they land, Piccolo, who's already fused with Kami, by the way, and Gohan dive straight into the hyperbolic time chamber to get a year's worth of training in. While they're doing that, Goku's on logistics. He zips over to New Namek, gets to Dende to be the new guardian of Earth, and even arranges for the Namekians to get their super-powered Dragon Balls ready. By the time he's back on Earth and gathered the new Earth Dragon Balls, boom, Piccolo and Gohan's year is up. So after a full year of non-stop, focused training, Piccolo and Gohan's power levels are just through the roof. The stage is set for a rematch, but this time, our guys are holding all the cards. When Piccolo steps out of that chamber, he doesn't waste a single second. No dramatic speeches, no feeling out his opponent. He's now a fusion of a god and a demon king, and after feeling so helpless, he is laser-focused on one thing and one thing only, ending this threat for good.
And the fight itself? Well, you can't even call it a fight. It's a demolition. You gotta remember, these are the weaker androids from the future timeline, not the ones from the main story. Piccolo's power is now so far beyond theirs that he ends the whole thing almost as soon as it starts. The androids are gone. The nightmare is finally over.
And cleaning up the mess is just as quick. Goku uses those upgraded Namekian Dragon Balls. Wish number 1, bring back everyone the androids killed. Yep, that includes Vegeta and the others. Wish number 2, restore the planet to how it was. And with the crisis handled, Goku and Gohan take their turn in the time chamber, coming out as mastered Super Saiyans, totally ready for whatever comes next.
And this right here is where this timeline just goes completely off the rails into something we wouldn't even recognize. Because that one strategic retreat, that single decisive victory, it didn't just solve the android problem. It set off a domino effect that basically neutralized every single major threat that was supposed to come after. Okay, first stop, Frieza's return. In this timeline, when his goons show up, they are not met by a B team. Nope, they run straight into the full power of Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, and a Gohan who never stopped his training. Frieza's revival stopped dead in its tracks. Threat neutralized.
All right, so what about Cell? Well, he still crawls out of his cocoon, but his whole reason for being is just gone. There are no androids for him to absorb. He's stuck in his weakest form, and he's up against heroes who are literally light years stronger than him. He's not a mean villain. He's barely even a problem. Threat neutralized. Now the Buu saga, this one might be the most interesting change of all. Because the timeline is so far ahead now, the Supreme Kai has over a decade to get ready. So instead of a frantic last-minute panic, he's got all the time in the world to find our heroes, train them with the Z-Sword, and unlock their full potential. Buu's revival isn't just stopped, it's prevented before it can even start. Threat neutralized.
And from here, the dominoes just fall one after the other real fast. Without all the major fights in Z, Beerus the Destroyer never has a reason to visit Earth. No Beerus means no God Key, no tournament with Universe 6, no Goku Black, and definitely no Tournament of Power. And with Frieza never being revived, the stories of Broly, Moro, and Granola, they're just erased from history. All that's left is, well, it's just peace.
So all of this, it all leads to one final, kind of challenging question. Remember how Bulma was always complaining that Goku just seems to attract all these universe-ending threats to Earth? Well, looking at this one timeline where he made a different choice, was she right all along? Did his constant need for a bigger, badder fight actually cause more harm than good?
And that's really the ultimate takeaway here, isn't it? If Goku had just been there on that fateful day, not to throw a punch, but to make one single strategic retreat, everything could have been so much better for everyone. A real, lasting peace, all born from the simple idea of losing one battle to win the entire war.